The Afghan Taliban is quickly filling the power vacuum as the United States withdraws from Afghanistan, ending nearly 2 decades of violence and bloodshed. With every passing day, the Taliban are capturing new districts. President Biden says that he will not send another generation of Americans to war. To learn more about the issue, I interviewed Suhail Shaheen, the Taliban spokesperson, to discuss a number of topics from the American withdrawal to the peace process and beyond. Mr. Suhail Shaheen, thank you very much for joining us today. As you know, Afghanistan is on the top list of the world agenda. I will start asking my first question that the Taliban has managed to not just sustain itself throughout the 20 years of occupation, but in the last years, you claim you have taken 85% of the country. From where has the Taliban gained such immense military power?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulil kareem, amma ba'd. We have taken this power from the people of Afghanistan. We are the people of Afghanistan. We are the liberation force of the country, the real sons of this ancient land. Anytime other powers, the superpowers or many powers, they have invaded this Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan have stood up to them, and the result what? The win was of the people of Afghanistan. If we were a faction, we would not have stood up to the invaders or with the sophisticated technology of the time.
So I want to ask here that where are you drawing your financial supports from?
We are living among the people. We have recruitment among the people. We are supported by the people financially. So these are the people are our source of power.
Well, the United States military says that the 60% of Taliban fundings comes from narcotics, but the Taliban has denied its involvement in narcotics industry. So where do you get these funds from? I mean, how can you guarantee that you will fight against the issue and stop it?
This is a propaganda of our opponents, of all our enemies. But we have a government, a practical de facto government in the 85% of the Afghan territory. There we have tax systems, we are custom houses. Even now, all borders are with us. So all the commercial goods entering Afghanistan or going out of Afghanistan, they are paying taxes to us because all the highways are in our control. So they have to pay tax to us. While the Kabul administration, they have control over the rest of the country. So if they want to pay to that, the Kabul administration are receiving the taxes, we are receiving more than them. And this is another source of revenue for us. The business goods, the traders are importing from other countries of the world. From other countries, the goods, the merchandise, they are importing to the country. We are laying taxes on those goods, the business goods, not on narcotics. When we are, our government is in place, an Islamic government in future, of course we are committed to eradicating poppy cultivation and to stopping narcotics trafficking from Afghanistan. That is our commitment, and we would want to work out. Yes, we would like to work out a mechanism with the international community, and based on that, to put an end to narcotic trafficking and also to poppy cultivation.
The peace process has been ongoing since 2020, but there has not been any concrete results. However, Babar Iftikhar, who is the Director General of the Intern Service Public Relations in Pakistan, says that Pakistan is still trying to help ending the deadlock and moving intra-Afghan negotiation forward. Do you think there will be a political settlement or a military solution?
That there is no result or slow progress, the responsibility is referred to the other side of the negotiation, because they have not performed their obligation. For example, they have not released the prisoner, which were mentioned in the Doha Agreement to be released in 3 months after the start of negotiation. And also our members be delisted. That also has not happened. And similarly, they are not focusing on negotiated settlement. Rather, they are demanding and focusing on ceasefire. They say, let's discuss ceasefire and implement ceasefire, and the Kabul administration continue as a government like we are continuing. This is not the solution. This is not a realistic approach to the issue. The real issue is that this administration, which in the view of the people of Afghanistan and also in our view, is an imposed government which has been imposed by the people of Afghanistan from a foreign country or countries. So this should be replaced by a new government, negotiated and acceptable by all Afghans. What I said is this, that we have our own agenda. The other side from Kabul, they have their own agenda. We will take our agendas to the table, then we will discuss those agendas, and when the two teams decide on an item, and that decision would be acceptable to us. When they take any decision unanimously, that would be acceptable to us.
So Afghanistan is a multicultural country made of various ethnic groups like Sunni and Shia groups. Also, Hazaras have long faced the discrimination and the persecution in Afghanistan. Will ethnic groups and minority religious communities will be included in the future government that you will be a part of it?
The minorities are, of course, first of all, I would say all Afghan are Muslims. So we do not have minorities except the Sikh, the Hindu people. They are minorities. But all Afghan people, whether they speak any language in the country, they are Afghans, including the minority. So as Afghan, they have right to serve their country and their people. There is no problem. They are equal in the sight of the law. There is no discrimination at all.
I see. United States Armed Forces are scheduled withdrawal from Afghanistan by 31st of August, but the Taliban remain strong on the battlefield. A massive question mark hangs over the fate of Afghan women and their rights and security. Surely expectations have grown so much in the last 20 years. Don't you worry about losing women's value, contribution and security in the future of Afghanistan? I mean, will they be included in the system?
Yes, of course. Women are important. The Afghan women not only they have played their role historically during the two invasions. They have played their own role in the liberation of the country. So we do not deny their rights, their access to work, education, and to work. But they are a Muslim women. They are not Western women. We have our own culture. So they voluntarily observing that, they will observe that. Otherwise, they will not have any problem.
Well, moving to the next one, you have said that in one of your interviews that you will support the security of non-governmental organization workers if the Taliban has a part of new state. But will this be guaranteed if the NGOs are supporting women's education and development programs?
Sure, sure. We will secure that. We have announced, and we are announcing now, even in the past 20 years, if there was no security provided to the NGOs from our side, they would not have worked. And even they can't work for a single day if we do not assure them of our security. How they can travel from one province to another province while we are controlling the highways if you do not provide them security? So it is we, and because of us, that they are able to carry out their charity works, their reconstruction works, their humanitarian works all over the country.
So another question is going to be that the main players in the region. How do you see the relation with Pakistan, China, and Iran?
Our delegation was in Tehran. You may have seen that or watched that news report. We have relation with them. We have good political relation with them. And also several times our delegation had gone to Pakistan. It's a neighboring country. We have relation with them, good relation with them, political. We were yesterday and the other day in Moscow. I was myself among the delegation. We have good relation with them. And also with Uzbekistan and other, including China. We had several visits to China. So we have with all of them good relation. We answer if there is any concern on their side. We have answered them, and we are ready to assure them of security, that the territory of Afghanistan will not be used against their security, and there will be no threat posed against them from our country.
Also, there has been some concerns from Tajikistan about the ethnic Tajiks who previously resisted Taliban control in the north. Tajikistan has called on a number of Russian-led military blocs to help it deal with the security challenges emerging from neighboring Afghanistan. How can you actually guarantee the security of the minorities who are not convinced the Taliban will protect them?
We have Sher Khan Bandar with Tajikistan. It is open. We took that area in recent weeks, and that border is open with Tajikistan. Goods are coming to Afghanistan, going from Afghanistan through that border, and we have told Tajikistan time and again that we will not allow anyone to use the soil of Afghanistan against your security. And since the time our mujahideen are in Badakhshan, which is bordering Tajikistan, they have not posed any threat to them, and we have practically proved that. So now it is up to them to show their good intention and come forward to have good relation and understanding that we have with other neighboring countries.
Another important player in Afghanistan is Turkey. So Turkey has pledged to help protect and run Kabul airport. How do you see the role of Turkey in the future of Afghanistan then?
I think it is becoming of Turkey an Islamic country that they have good relation or start good relation with a new Islamic government which would come into being in future. That is good for them, good for their image, good for their credibility, and also for their Islamic image. But now, if they remain That is the demand of the US. So that is not the demand of our people, because we want to end this occupation. And if they remain, that the people will consider that it is the continuation of the occupation. So we think that would be not good for the image of Turkey, an Islamic country. And there is also fear that worries that we come to face-to-face with an Islamic country, that we were face-to-face against the occupation. That we do not want to happen. So that is our suggestion, that they do not take any decision that is contrary to the demands and aspiration of the people of Afghanistan. But in a new phase, they are most welcome. They will can have roles, cooperation, participation in any field in Afghanistan. That the people of Afghanistan in that phase will welcome that. But in this phase, which is the demand of the other countries, the NATO countries, the US, and also it is in detriment to our people, that we want them not to participate in that as an Islamic country.
Well, you've been also been extending dialogue with outside powers over the last 2 years. The recent one, that your trip were to Moscow and Iran. What was agreed upon there, and what are your future goals in the diplomatic agenda?
We had negotiation with them. Yes, of course we have negotiation with them, and we have conveyed our message to them, and we conveyed our message to them in a very brotherly manner. And as I said here in my interview here, and they know our position. We also announced our position in media. They should focus on peace and reconciliation. They should make their efforts in reconciliation of the people of Afghanistan, rather than becoming or carrying out the mission of the NATO countries. That is which is not acceptable to the people. But if they focus on peace and reconciliation and brotherhood among the people of Afghanistan, that would go down in the history of Afghanistan as a great work from an Islamic country. And also then they would have their constructive role in Afghanistan in a future government. Went in Iran. Our delegation talked with authorities of Iran, their officials, Iranian officials, and also there were some Afghan politicians who had come from Afghanistan. They also had a sitting with them and discussed the peace process in the country, and also how to forge ahead with the peace process, how to expedite the process. And Moscow, we had a visit with Zamir Kabylov, special envoy of the President of Russian Federation for Afghanistan, and we discussed the recent situation, and we discussed that the border will be open and that no threat will be posed to their security, and we also requested their role in future reconstruction of the country, and we assured them that the schools, offices, and all in social media outlets and all are operating in those districts that we have control or came into our administration. They are as they were operating in the past. So all those things were discussed, and also we request them if they have any issue or any concern to discuss, we are ready to discuss with them. All those items were discussed. I see a bright future for Afghanistan, a peaceful future for Afghanistan, because the people of Afghanistan know only the Afghan able to reconstruct this country. Only the people of Afghanistan, they are to come together around their shared Islamic and national values and build a strong country. You know, about 54 countries of the world headed by USA and other countries, other not member countries, came to Afghanistan, and they were there for the last 20 years. But rather than building the country, they destroyed the country. They didn't bring any peace to the country, any prosperity to the country. You know, now we have more than 70% of the people, they are living under the poverty line. So that proved that the other countries can't bring prosperity to our people and can't bring peace to our country. So we are the Afghans, all Afghans, whether they are coming from any ethnicity, they should come together around their values, shared values, and build a peaceful, a strong, a prosperous Afghanistan. And for that, we are ready to play our role.
Okay, so lastly, I would like to ask, what will your final message to our audience and those who are watching across the world?
Our message is, for the last 20 years, there was a strong propaganda against us. They have distorted our image, our Islamic and Afghan national image. They have distorted. So we request all the medias to also to listen to our side of the story. And also my request is to Turkey, a great Islamic country which has had a good and historical relation with Afghanistan. They never be part of any occupation, any work that is against the people of Afghanistan, but rather they focus to be a strong friend and partner in a future Afghanistan. That would be better for them and for us, rather than being temporary part of any agreement which is not good for our two people. That is my brotherly request from them.
Mr. Suhail Shaheen, thank you very much for joining Anews.
Thank you so much.
We discussed a number of topics, from American withdrawal to the peace process and many more, with the spokesperson of Taliban.